ISKCON and Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. This is the fourth project that we have taken up together, message of Bhagavat Purana. And each one of these conferences were received with great appreciation during the conferences as well as after the conferences, where the proceedings were recorded and circulated to the outside world, both nationally and internationally. We have received appreciation from all quarters. In fact, today we showed Srivatsaji the big volumes of the message of Upanishad and all the other volumes on his way from airport. And he was thoroughly impressed with the kind of work that is being done by the joint efforts of ISKCON and Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. Primarily, it's Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan's initiative, and I am just supporting them from this. And when it comes to this particular conference about Bhagavata conference, ISKCON has got very special interest, because our main scripture is Bhagavata. Everything that we do in our life is application of Srimad Bhagavatam. So I'll just say a few words in this occasion. Vedavyas has presented to this world many scriptural writings, such as Puranas, Upanishads, Sutra, Vedanta Sutra, etc. And he has expounded higher and lower principles of truths of existence in them. But Srimad Bhagavatam was a final writing of Vedavyasa. Not only is Srimad Bhagavatam is the essence of all scriptures, but it is spoken by Paramahamsas, the most perfect swan-like transcendental personalities who are full in knowledge. Srimad Bhagavatam is a complete knowledge of the absolute truth. The completeness of the revelations in Srimad Bhagavatam fulfills even the most demanding and intelligent inquirer of theistic pursuit. This literature was delivered in response to the need for a summary knowledge of the absolute truth and the guidance for self-realization, which is distilled from all the vast forest of scriptures. The absolute nature of knowledge of Bhagavatam are revealed in the second verse of Bhagavatam. It is therein stated, Dharma projita kaitavotra. All so-called religiosity covered by fruitive intentions is completely rejected herein. Self-centered fruitive intentions which take the shape of dharma, artha, kama, moksha distract the true pursuit of self-realization. None of these affairs of the mundane world actually delivers the spiritual food to satiate the hunger of the deep spiritual instincts of the soul, which is to realize a sense of individual completeness of Satchit Ananda in association with the Supreme Satchit Ananda. Though Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha summarizes the mundane goals, even if one is able to satisfy attainment of these goals, it leaves every soul in this world hungry and dissatisfied. Srimad Bhagavatam prescribes that all these should eventually be abandoned as pollutants of the essential function of the soul, which is devotional service to the absolute truth in full surrender. Thus, the Bhagavatam directs us to the highest goal. Paramo nirmatsaranam satham vedhyam vastavam atra. The highest truth, which is understandable by those who are fully pure in heart, is inculcated herein. The second sutra of Vedanta Sutra, given by the same author Vyasadeva, states, Janmadasya yataha. The absolute truth is that from which all is emanating, by which all is maintained, and by which all is conserved in its unmanifest state. These sutras or aphorisms are in the form of codes full of meaning. In decoding these sutras, one needs commentaries as they are compactly concentrated statements having meanings beyond the apparent meanings, simple meanings. Srimad Bhagavatam is the author's own commentary on Vedanta Sutra. The same aphorism of Vedanta Sutra, Janmadasya Yataha, is reflected in the very first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. Vedavyas presents the non-sectarian description of absolute truth as the entity from whom everything emanates and who is the cause of all causes and the possessor of infinite opulence and energies. Although he is the source of all categories of existence, this supreme entity still remains aloof from all his manifestations. Again, in the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, he is described as Avijñā and Swarat, or fully cognizant and independent. Only a person or a personality can be Avijñā or cognizant and Swarat. He manifests all varieties of energies in existence, yet he remains the supreme transcendental cognizant independent entity. Thus, in the very first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, Vedavyas lays down the definition of absolute truth as a supremely independent personality. He ends the first verse with the words Satyam Param Dhimahi, meditating on that absolute truth. Thus, one cannot point fingers at the author for any sectarian theism in the Srimad Bhagavatam, when in this work he brings forth that Krishna is God, because he is the source of all entities and energies in existence. Vedavyas states clearly at the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam that the absolute truth is to be understood in three features: Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan iti. The features of Bhagavan, the supreme personality, personal feature of God. The other two features are Brahman, the impersonal feature of God, and Paramatma, the all-pervasive super soul. He also describes this Bhagavan as Vasudeva. Vasudeva Paraveda, Vasudeva Paramakaha, Vasudeva Parayoga, Vasudeva Parakriyaha, Vasudeva Paramjnanam, Vasudeva Paratapaha, Vasudeva Parodharma, Vasudeva Paragatihi. Anandamayobhyasat is another sutra in the Vedanta Sutra. And the local purpose of existence is to expand experience of Ananda, which is harmonized with the whole Vasudeva. Therefore, the intelligent soul must therefore seek his constitutional relationship with the absolute truth by aligning his local purpose with the universal purpose of Ananda for the whole, or the pleasure of Vasudeva. What is the benefit of Srimad Bhagavatam to humanity? The effect of pursuing the knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam is stated. Vastu Shivadham Tapatrayon Moolanam. The highest truth is described is to uproot the threefold miseries for the welfare of everyone. How does Bhagavatam achieve this? A practitioner of Srimad Bhagavatam is taught to live in communion with the Satchidananda absolute truth, and he leads a life of service to Vasudeva. Such a person will soon experience himself as aloof from the Jada and Sukshma Sharira without need to take a jnanic pursuit or cultivation of knowledge separately. The soul becomes free from misidentification with these coverings, which is the very source of all miseries of the suffering souls. Such a person sees this world as a school to learn how to love God. From his local situation, he experiences the ecstatic taste of loving exchange with the unlimited Supreme Lord. This service of liberating souls, simply by the process of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam every day, is truly beneficial for the universal welfare. What is the result of hearing Bhagavatam every day? Nashta prajayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki tada rajastamo bhavaha kamalobadayaschaye chete ete ranavidam stitam sattve prasidati. By hearing Srimad Bhagavatam every day, loving devotional service to the Lord is established as an irrevocable fact in the heart of the hearer, and at the time the effects of nature's mode of passion and ignorance, such as lust and hankering, disappear from one's heart, and he becomes fixed in the mode of goodness, which makes him completely happy. Let us talk some of the far out truths that Srimad Bhagavatam talks about in terms of this universe. Srimad Bhagavatam talks about so many universes coming out of the body of Mahavishnu lying in the Karanajjula. Our Puranas gives us a picture of this world as consisting of unlimited Brahmandas, each of which is headed by a Brahma, and our Brahmanda is the smallest one, headed by Chaturmukha Brahma. Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 14th chapter, 11th verse. I'll not read the translation, only the last line, the last translation, the essence. Unlimited universes pass through the pores of your body, such as particles of dust pass through the openings of a screened window. Someone may ask, in this modern age of scientific knowledge, how can you believe in all this? This question might have shaken a man of modern science maybe 50 years ago, but not now. Those who are familiar with modern physics and cosmological research on space and time will never be shaken, because modern physics and cosmology admits that the more they know about the universe, their realization of the ignorance of this universe is only increasing. Many cosmologists, for instance, the latest Scientific American, this is a world-class scientific journal, Scientific American. The heading says the quantum multiverse. I will just read the first opening para of this. It's talking about the multi-universes, so many Brahmandas. Many cosmologists now accept the extraordinary idea that what seems to be the entire universe may actually be only a tiny part of a much larger structure called the multiverse. In this picture, multiple universes exist, and the rules we once assumed were basic laws of nature take different forms in each. For example, the types and properties of elementary particles may differ from one universe to another universe. And the concluding remarks says that I and other physicists are also pursuing the quantum multiverse idea further at a theoretical level. This may require that our sense of universe is changing. Even the idea of time is changing. The concept of time itself may be an illusion. Time, according to this notion, is an emergent concept that arises from a more fundamental reality and seems to exist only within the local branches of multiverse. This also we know, relativity of time. Even within this material, within our own world, Brahmanda, Brahma's time is different, Devata's time is different, earthly time is different. So what to speak of the time scales which are there in other universes. So much of knowledge, even the ontological reality of Srimad Bhagavatam, these are not sankalpas, the structure of the universe, the cosmology that is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. Just because we cannot understand, we cannot say that these are all imaginations of some poet. These are all facts. And as I said, 50 years back, if you talk to the scientific world, they will laugh at all these things. But today the science itself, physics itself is coming to understand the relativity of time, space and time is the understanding of space and time till today. The physics which is so advanced, they have no idea what is space, what is time. They have admitted it. The concept of time and space is changing from Newton to Einstein to later on, it's changing. So anyway, it not only it has a message for our life, it is a book of truth. The book of universal truth. So many other subjects are dealt in Srimad Bhagavatam, which we'll all be hearing from different speakers, which are connected to direct reality, objective reality of embryology, so many subject matters. Thus it's, okay, the writing of Srimad Bhagavatam is prefaced with the transcendental anecdote of Vyasadeva, After having compiled extensive writings, including great work of Vedanta Sutra, he was feeling a sense of incompleteness. This is when Narada, his guru, appeared there and pointed out the cause of his sense of incompleteness. He told Vyasadeva that he has not directly glorified the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his devotees, and that is the reason for his incompleteness. Thus, it is on the instruction of Narada that Vyasadeva took up the mission of writing Srimad Bhagavatam. Because of this, it is said that Srimad Bhagavatam is the fully ripened fruit of Vedic tree of wisdom, and in fact, the literary incarnation of Godhead given by the incarnation of Godhead himself. Vedavyas Bhagavatam is the full treatise on absolute truth beyond his other works, and thus it is intended for fully mature transcendentalists and inquirers of the absolute truth. The Bhagavad Purana is as brilliant as the sun. Bhagavat itself says, is a translation from 1343 Bhagavatam. The Bhagavad Purana is as brilliant as the sun, and it has arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. Persons who have lost their vision due to this dense darkness of ignorance in this age of Kali will get light from this Purana. If anyone is searching for God, he will surely find him in Srimad Bhagavatam, described in all his glories. Today, thanks to the hard and diligent efforts of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the non-sectarian message of Srimad Bhagavatam, of Param Satyam, the Supreme Avijñan Swarat God, as an absolute person, with all his Aishwarya and Madhurya attributes, has reached people all over the world, not only in English language, but over 70 other languages. Today, practically the singing of the glories of Krishna in the form of the Hare Krishna mantra, Nama Sankirtana, introduced by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 500 years ago in India, has spread to every nook and corner of this world. Promoting and propagating the knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam will definitely usher in a golden period in this otherwise hopeless Kali Yuga. Although we are finite, hence unable to grasp the absolute truth, which is infinite, on our own, through the ascending process of gaining knowledge, it is possible to grasp the knowledge of the absolute truth by the mercy of the infinite and his dear devotees. We therefore humbly pray and beg the Lord that we seize this opportunity, most fortunate opportunity, to hear, discuss and appreciate the message of Srimad Bhagavatam in the next few days in order to fix within our heart the absolute truth expounded in this great work. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Thank you very much.